Hello guys, it's George here from Funny at its Finest, and today I'm going to be going through my NBA Player Award predictions for the next season. So I've been steering clear of every award predictions video on YouTube so I can give my own opinions and not be swayed by anyone else. So in this video I'm going to be going over MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year and Most Improved Player. So I've made the rosters of the Sixers, the Bucks, the Bulls and the Cavs, who I think is going to do it, so let's begin. So I reckon these are probably, I really hope that one of these wins it, otherwise I'm going to look stupid. But I'm going to go in third place. The player I think is going to come third in MVP voting is going to be LeBron James. He's on a new team, it's going to take a while for him, well not a while for him to fit him, it is LeBron. But I don't think he's going to be MVP this year, especially because he's won it, 4 times? And obviously he could win it every year. Like, he was the most valuable player to his team last year. Like, you took James Harden off the Rockets, they're still making the playoffs. If you take LeBron off the Cavs, they're the worst team in the league. So LeBron's going to go in at third. At second, I'm going with Giannis. The difference between him and number one is really small. I honestly think that Giannis could do it this year. It doesn't say his stats on here, but he obviously averaged, I think it was 28 a game last year. He was averaging over 30 at the start of the season, but it came down a bit towards the end. I reckon if he could easily average 30 points a game this year. He's got a good coach now. I can't remember who it is now, but I know he has a better coach than he did last year. He had Jason Kidd, who was a great player, but as a coach, was he there? No, not really. So I'm going to go with Giannis for number 2, and number 1, the man right below him, Anthony Davis. I think without DeMarcus Cousins there, he's going to lead this team to a decent amount of wins. I reckon they're going to overdo what people predict. Well, not overdo, but like, what's the word? Outdo the people's predictions. Because a lot of people are predicting the Pelicans not to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They've got Anthony Davis. Like, he averaged 28 and 11 in like 2016-17. He did even better last year, maybe not even better, but he did similar numbers last year. And I think he could win it. I think he will win it. Obviously, any of these players could win it. Like, Harden can win it again, Curry could win it again, KD could win it again. Kawhi I'm not too sure about. I just threw him in there because he could easily win it, and I'll look silly if I don't. Westbrook, Irvin, Joel Embiid could be a dark horse, and so could Victor Oladipo. Because the Sixers are going to be good this year. They could be a 2 or a 3 seed, maybe a 4 seed. And Joel Embiid will be leading that team, along with Simmons, obviously, and hopefully Markelle Fultz if he comes back well. If he has a big summer, then potentially he could actually play like the number 1 pick and not make the Sixers front office look silly for trading basically the pick that got Jason Tatum and the Kings pick this year, which is probably going to be number 1, number 2, maybe number 3. But for Markelle Fultz. So we're going on to the next team, the Milwaukee Bucks, and this is for the most improved player, I think. So I'm going to have to talk through most players on this list, because there's a few questionable ones, sorry. Jabari Parker. He only averaged like 12 or 13 points a game last season. He was injured for a lot of it. And obviously this prediction is if he can stay injury free, I reckon he could average 20 on the Bulls. He's going to be one of their main scoring options. And next to Markkanen and who did they draft? Wendell Carter Jr., wasn't it? And Levine and Chris Dunn. I don't think they're going to be as bad as people predict, but obviously their defense is going to be great. Next up is Otto Porter. Now, he obviously didn't do bad last year, but I reckon he could go up to 20, or to about 20 points per game. And if he does that, he could have a chance of winning most improved player. But that's only if like no one else has big like stats increase. Yeah, he averaged 14.7 last year with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. If he could up that to maybe 27 and 4, I reckon that could be a most improved season for him. This will not most likely happen, but this will only happen if one of John Wall or Bradley Beal go down injured, because he's not going to average 20 a game with Beal and Wall in the team. He just won't. He'd be the third scoring option. Andrew Wiggins. I don't think he needs to have much of a points increase to get most improved player. I just think he needs to be less greedy, take less shots, be more efficient. Because the guy averaged 17.7 points a game last year. So obviously he's scoring a lot, but he got 43.8% from the field, which really isn't good. He should be the third scoring option on that team with Jimmy Butler and Towns ahead of him. But he took the most shots and was the least efficient. If he can get his assists up a bit to maybe 3 or 4, and his rebounds up a bit to 6, and his points maybe go up to like 20, same as Porter, he could easily do it as long as he can shoot more efficiently. Right, next player is Miles Turner, the centre for the Indiana Pacers. He only averaged 12 and 6 last year, or 13 and 6, we'll round it up. And if he can get that up to maybe 15, maybe 16 or 17 point double-double, which I reckon he could easily do. He's 6'11", I think. Yeah, 6'11". He went down from last year, which is unfortunate. But if he can play well, get more minutes, he will be their starting... Wait. Yeah, he will be their starting center. I don't know what I was thinking about then. Miles Turner easily could be a candidate. Willie Cauley-Stein is a bit of an outsider, to be honest. I just put him in because there was a lot of numbers. But yeah, I mean, if he has a decent season, then I guess he could be most improved. This is probably the hardest one to pick because like no one could have predicted Oladipo going from where he was to being an all-star. You could have maybe predicted him as most improved because he got his trade. He was going to be one of the biggest scoring options for Indiana. Willie Cauley-Stein averaged 13 and 7 last year, so actually maybe I can't see him doing it. Maybe I can't. Next up is Josh Richardson of the Miami Heat. Obviously, he's probably going to be the second scoring option this year, behind Goran Dragic. I reckon this could be Richardson's breakout year. He's looked promising in the seasons before, but last year he averaged 13, 3.5 and 3. If he could get that up to maybe 17, 5 and 5, maybe if he can get to 20 points a game, that'd be amazing. I reckon he could be an all-star this year. Like, no joke. I reckon he could be an all-star. He's improved every season. So, yeah. Josh Richardson. I reckon he can do it. Elfrid Payton. Now, this is another one outside the box. Last year he averaged 12 or 13, 4 and 6. If he can get to, I don't know how many points per game he'd need. It depends obviously how the other players do. Like if someone has a Victor Oladipo like year, they're going to be needing to average like 22, 24, maybe even 25 points a game to get most improved. Which out of this list I could only really see Andrew Wiggins or Otto Porter doing really. DeJounte Murray, again, not really much to say about him. I reckon he could do well this year. I reckon he could do really well. In the Spurs, he's going to be their starting point guard, I believe. Unless I'm not thinking well. No, he's going to be their starting point guard. I reckon he can get a lot of assists. He's obviously really good on defense. Yeah. And yeah, the last one's Jakob Poeltl. This is all reliant on whether he starts next year for the Spurs over a 38 or 39-year-old Pau Gasol. I reckon he could. Obviously, he was part of the DeRozan Kawhi trade. Jakob Poeltl. If he wins this, and I've actually like put him on this list, I would be impressed. So my top three, I'm going to say my top three for all of them. I'm going to go number 3, Jabari Parker. Number 2, Miles Turner. And number 1, I reckon Josh Richardson's going to do it. Maybe it's a bit of bias because I like Miami Heat. But, yeah, why couldn't he? He showed all the promise. Why can't he put it into most improved? Right, next team, Chicago Bulls. This represents the 6th man of the year, as you can probably tell. I've got Lou Will, Dennis Schroeder, Isaiah Thomas, Eric Gordon, Nikola Mirotic, Terry Rozier, Kyle Kuzma, Van Vliet. Obviously Eric Gordon and Williams are on there most years, and I can't see them being left off it again. Like they're not gonna suddenly stop producing as much as they were before. But I truly think that Isaiah Thomas can have another really good year. He had an MVP-like season in Boston before he was traded to the Cavs, and then obviously to the Lakers where he has struggled. But in a team that is going to be a borderline playoff team, in the Denver Nuggets, he's obviously not going to start because they're going to start Jamal Murray. I reckon he could get 6th man. He's going to be probably the first scoring option off the bench for him. So yeah, could be him. I reckon he's going to win it. That's my prediction. Number 2, I'm going to go with Dennis Schroeder. Number 3, I'm going to go with Mirotic. Kuzma could be on the list, but I'm not going to put him on the top 3 because I don't know if he's going to start or not. It depends whether they want to start here. They're going to start 2 out of the 3 of Josh Hart / KCP, Brandon Ingram, who I can't see him leaving out, and Kuzma. They could play Ingram at the 2, LeBron at the 3, Kuzma at the 4, or they could play... I reckon they'll probably start Josh Hart at the 2, Ingram at the 3, Kuzma at the 4. So, yeah. Terry Rozier, obviously, he could have a really good season at 6th man. Behind Kyrie Irving, of course. Right, I think that's all that needs to be said. I don't know if this is very good or not. Like, these predictions could all go horribly wrong, but we'll wait and see. Defensive player of the year, obviously I can't speak. Obviously, as you can see, I've only got 2 players there. It's because a lot of the potential players are in the MVP race or in another race. I can go Better's going to do it. He won it last year, and I reckon he's going to do it back to back. Obviously, Draymond Green is a potential player who could win it. Anthony Davis, I reckon, is probably going to come 2nd, and then Embiid 3rd. I reckon Embiid's going to do well. Obviously, you look at Giannis for defense, and maybe you could even look at KD, who had a really good year defensively last year. Oh yeah, and now we got Rookie of the Year. It's so hard to predict this, but I am going with at number 3, DeAndre Ayton. I reckon, obviously he's the number 1 pick. He's a center. He's going to start for the Phoenix Suns. Bit obvious. Number 2, I'm going for Luka Doncic. If he is what everyone says he is, because obviously he was the MVP in the Spanish League last year, in the 2nd best league in the world, obviously behind the NBA, playing with grown men, ex-NBA players, and doing what he was doing there. If he can bring any of that to the NBA, he has my vote. At number 1, I'm going for Kevin Knox, which might seem controversial. He was only the 9th pick. I think he was the 9th pick, but he's probably gonna be their first scoring option. Like, let's be honest. Until Kristaps comes back, he's gonna be their number 1 option. A few honourable mentions go to Colin Sexton, who is going to be one of their top scoring options, and he looks really good defensively. Trae Young, obviously a risky pick, especially for the Hawks, as they traded Luka Doncic to get him, but they do get the Mavericks pick this year, I believe. I might be wrong there. Marvin Bagley on the Kings. I don't think he's going to average the numbers of a Rookie of the Year, but I could be wrong. And my final honourable mention is going to be Wendell Carter Jr. on the Chicago Bulls. Again, I think the Bulls are getting slept on a bit, you know. Everyone's saying they could be a top 3 worst team in the NBA. I can't see that happening. I think they're going to be pushing for that 8 seed. I don't think they'll get the 8 seed, but I think they will be an outsider to get into the playoffs. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to Funniest Finest. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I am leaving now. Goodbye.